For the first time, the entire bow can be seen on the ocean floor.
That's a nice image. That's a really nice image.
The stern is also revealed.
The broken end of the stern is right here. Yeah, look at that. Looks like it's bent right here.
The sonar mapping has even turned up a surprise.
That is a big piece of the hull right there.
When Titanic broke in half, she was severed in two places, creating a third piece, most of which disintegrated. Now recorded on videotape and plotted on the map, some 60 feet of her hull has been discovered intact. Researchers believe the other half of Titanic's massive engine is under this piece. Further explorations of the site may provide the answer.
Okay, Steve, got the tip of the bow at 5717.
Gradually, a map of the whole wreck site emerges as they first position the bow and stern.
57. Okay.
Okay, the propeller end of the stern is 5170.
The sonar data has also outlined two other important areas.
Also getting debris pattern.
Within these circles lay most of the artifacts from the Titanic disaster. Scattered across the ocean bottom are objects that poured from Titanic as she sank. Each defines the ship's character and tells another part of her story. Many of Titanic's treasures find their way to the French countryside, where they are restored. A protective coat of polish is applied to one of the ship's whistles. Last heard at high noon on the very day Titanic struck the iceberg.
This was Titanic's voice. This is what made her speak. The whistles. And there they are. We have them. We know what they're like. It's one thing reading about them, but to see them gives you an entirely different impression of what they were.
Stefan Pennick belongs to a group of conservation artisans, each with their own unique specialty. As a trained archaeologist, Pennick carefully supervises the preservation of Titanic's artifacts. Master woodworker Terry Palank meticulously reconstructs the wooden base of one of the ship's compasses. Each retrieved object becomes an integral part of a new and historical record.
I think a human couldn't live without having their own roots and culture. It's probably the main difference between animals and human people.
The artisans take a minimalist approach to conservation. For them, the objects are more meaningful if they keep a trace of the trauma they suffered. A ceramic figurine. Seawater can pull a glossy surface away from its base. Chemical treatments and air drying will stabilize the cracking. In the hands of Marielle Bouchara, a simple souvenir from Holland is transformed into an object of poignant beauty.
Tiens, reste par là maintenant. Voilà, le côté, tu lui fais un peu de l'oreille de ce côté-là.
Intricate metal lattice work that adorn Titanic deck benches now soak in tubs of chemicals. Pennick monitors the bath for chloride, a leading cause of corrosion in metals. Each object reacts differently when exposed to the sea. Pennick calls on an eclectic background to save the Titanic artifacts.
So in terms of training, you have to be able to understand chemics, physics, degradation processes. You have to be able to understand in terms of history, art, what's the meaning of the object. You can't restore a clock or a car if you don't know a bit of the techniques involved in it.
Isabel Celia Colso puts the tiny components back into a clock. A clock that froze in time on April 15, 1912. Remarkably, a man's suitcase was recovered from the ocean's floor. Martine Plantek carefully unfolds the garments. Dirt and oxides are washed away from the pants, gloves, and shirts that were so neatly folded and packed for a trip to America so long ago.
The unpacking action is one of the strongest feelings of the conservation process, because that's the time where you do what should have been when you arrive from a trip. You unpack your stuff, and in fact we just switch. It's the guy can't unpack now, and we have the next one. It's very strong in terms of emotion.
Of all Titanic objects being preserved here in France, perhaps the most incredible ones are made of paper.
I think it's unbelievable. If